Virgo, welcome to your full moon in Cancer reading. Let's get started and see what messages we have for you for the full moon in Cancer. It's happening on January the 13th. A lot of really great messages coming through about what we need to let go of and release. And so let's see what messages we have for Virgo. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising. Star card. Oh, love any reading that starts with the star card. And you've got the 8 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Virgo, this really feels like you're starting to set some intentions around where you want to make some big efforts towards yourself, where you're feeling the most authentic, what you want to master moving forward, and where you may not have been. You know, 8 of Pentacles in reverse can sometimes call us out a little bit to say, why aren't you fully immersing yourself in this? This is you. This is a part of you that wants to shine. This is a new direction. This is something that aligns with you, Virgo. So this really does feel like a time where, you know, seeing the star as your current energy is, I'm the architect of this. And if I set the intention and I put in the efforts and the focus to master this part of myself, I can achieve whatever intention I have set here. Let's see what might be creating a challenge for you. Okay, so it's definitely something new. And 7 of Wands, it really might involve, 8 of Pentacles stays on the bottom. 7 of Wands in reverse with the Fool really may involve some new boundaries and some, you know, the obstacle here may be setting and maintaining those boundaries as you're also hesitating on maybe immersing yourself on what we were just talking about. So you might need stricter boundaries around, you know, for some reason, I'm getting this message that says around the naysayers. You know, I wonder if the 7 of Wands in reverse is saying you don't have time right now to be around folks that are going to take your new beginnings and the things you want to immerse yourself and master here. If they're going to be filling you up with doubt, it almost feels like that could delay a start here, and that could make you more hesitant, and you might be thinking, you know, there's too much risk here. And I wonder if this is saying, you know, that's the challenge you've got to overcome so that you can start to really get going on something that could put you in a role that allows you to master a skill, a talent, an ability, an interest. It's almost this feeling that says if you're drawn to something, you've got to go for it. Don't overthink it. Don't overplan it. Just start today. So I wonder if in this full moon energy, it might be very powerful for you to start visualizing the end point. Instead of focusing on the how, which might lead you to start thinking about obstacles and things that could slow you down, you know, even this idea of having boundaries around, you know, who you're discussing these things with. You might even need boundaries around how you're approaching this so that you can almost start visualizing and releasing any doubt, but visualizing the end point here. I love that idea of thinking of things from the end. Yeah, just like I was thinking, you know, 5 of Wands, there are naysayers. There may be people saying, that's not going to work, or you should just do this because this works. Do it like us. 5 of Wands can really be a struggle to maintain your uniqueness in order to seize an opportunity. Virgo, don't doubt yourself here, Virgo. You got to seize this opportunity and start really trusting yourself in your uniqueness, in your authenticity. No wonder you've got the 7 of Wands here. You know, it's really important for you to stay away from, I kept feeling that. It's funny, we're naysayers, like people that are going to try to dissuade you from being your unique and authentic self. And with that 8 of Pentacles, it makes me think you're going to look back at this one day and be like, I'm so glad I trusted myself, because look at me now. I seized this opportunity and I've mastered something that I feel is me. You know, it reflects your uniqueness and your true self. 5 of Cups at the root with the King of Pentacles. Your mastery of the material world, it almost feels like there may be an emotional situation that is like a cost. Five of Wands. I wonder if it's a sense of saying, well, if I do this, I'm not really going to have any support. I have strong boundaries. I've had to sort of maintain my uniqueness as opposed to trying to belong with that Five of Wands. And now I wonder if there's an emotional feeling that says, I just want to be like others. But you are a Virgo. I always think Virgos have this really magical quality where they are the innovators. You know, I know star card is Aquarius energy, but I just feel like so many amazing artists and creators and, you know, people with a lot of ingenuity are Virgo. They have so much Virgo in their chart. And so, you know, Virgo placements are going to need to shine here, even if, you know, that's such a powerful reframe. Here we might be thinking, well, what if, versus the idea of even if I still must continue, you know, even if I suddenly find myself standing alone, and even if I have to maintain these boundaries, even if I'm feeling a little bit hesitant within myself, I still have to keep going. It's an even if moment. I love that. Look at this. Past energy. Four of Wands with the Seven of Swords. Gosh, with the Emperor. This is interesting. It really makes me wonder if there was someone around you that really was trying to convince you couldn't do something. It really feels that way. Like, I wonder if there was someone trying to dissuade you from starting that business or taking that leap of faith or taking that course or, you know, starting to study something new, changing lanes. Excuse me. It really feels like there may have been someone trying to dissuade you. And, you know, Four of Wands in reverse almost feels like you're not moving towards that finish line because of this. But the Emperor on the bottom of the deck makes me feel like you've got to trust yourself. You know, the Leo reading had a lot of themes that were similar to this. I wonder if that may be one to listen to as well. The World in reverse as the upcoming energy. Wow, with the Four of Pentacles. So you've got to, not only are there energies surrounding you that you need boundaries around, but there is a message here that we sort of spoke about earlier that says, I've also got to let go of my own sense of lack, my sense of scarcity, my fear of starting something new. What if it doesn't work? The what ifs, right? The what ifs come in strong here. This fellow's holding on to those coins everywhere he can because what if I never get any more coins? And that can create a lot of stagnation when we hang on to things like that, for fear of lack, for fear of, you know, this sense of insecurity. Again, sort of this theme of not really trusting that what you have within you will prosper. That World card in reverse feels like there may be a need to further process and integrate things. I love that you have the Fool as the current obstacle, and then the end of the Fool's journey, the World as the upcoming energy. There's a cycle that needs to close that feels like it involves others, people's opinions and how that affects you emotionally. The idea of being sort of someone who stands out and doesn't necessarily fit in with the mainstream, how that affects you emotionally. And also this idea of a lack or scarcity sort of perspective on new beginnings, resources, wealth, prosperity. You might really need to shift that. The Fool is likely in reverse because if we're feeling this way, if that's our perspective, if that's the concept we're holding, no wonder you're not wanting to take a leap forward. And so the World card is saying we got to wrap that up so that we can move on and really start to create, to see the things that we want to create happen for us, right? Interesting. Wheel of Fortune with the Two of Pentacles as what's the inner shift. So, wow, this is interesting because if you are feeling a bit of that lack And we, we go through that. It happens when we're especially at the beginning of something. You may be like, well, how am I going to feel secure if it's just the beginning? It's like we need to surrender. The Wheel of Fortune is here to say, I got you with the how. You just focus on the end. Just like I was saying earlier, I think I was saying that in this reading. It might have been the Leo reading. It's interesting. These two readings feel very... I wonder if you have some placements in Leo and vice versa for you, for the Leos having placements in Virgo. But like bringing in a new sense of balance with this Two of Pentacles, you got the Moon card on the bottom. So this is going to trigger fear. This is going to trigger a transformation that's likely you're going to have to walk through some of your fears on this full moon in order to release and close down, wrapping up any cycles or patterns that are keeping you sort of bound to this idea that I'm different and I want to belong, or I have scarcity and lack when it comes to my resource mentality. There may be people around me that are trying to dissuade me, and they're playing on my fears as well. They're mentioning things that I've thought of that scare me from new beginnings, make me hesitant. But I can't help but think that you're repositioning things with that Two of Pentacles to choose a priority, and you're sort of cutting ties with things that feel like it's got to go. If I want to take up space and express myself in a way that feels authentic, I have to let go. Two of Cups. There may be some new folks here, so don't let the emotion that says I'm going to be all alone convince you. Look at that. There's a Two of Cups right there saying, you're gonna connect with people that see eye to eye with you. And the Five of Swords in reverse is nice energy because it's in reverse. It sort of says, and I don't feel like I need to explain myself. I don't, I can sort of let people understand me how they will without integrating that as part of my identity. And so I wonder if as you start this process, the first thing that's going to sort of come through as a validation is people coming through that feel aligned, and you don't need to maintain these boundaries. You feel like you can connect. You don't feel like you have this hard time explaining things, or they didn't understand me, or they're challenging me in a way that's like, I don't know how to express myself, or am I being understood? I think that's going to be one of the first outer shifts you experience, is connections that feel healing, connections that feel like they see you and they get you, and that can be such a game changer, can't it? Right? Especially if one of the things that we're sort of sitting in is a fear that we will be alone. We will be achieving something, but we'll be standing alone. Empress coming out to encourage that authenticity that says, even if I'm separate from things and people and experiences that, I've sort of been on the outs with anyway, according to these 2 5s and that 7, it's that idea that says, I'd rather have the temporary discomfort of being on my own than the permanent discomfort of abandoning myself. And that is such a true statement, because there will always be people that can come along that will resonate with you. But if you've abandoned yourself in order to fit in, then that's more of a chronic pain that's created. That really does create a dis-ease within you, because you're not being true to yourself in that case. Yeah, Queen of Cups. There's something here that feels like it's a deep emotion around worry. And, it's like the Queen of Cups is saying, you got to trust how you're feeling about something rather than overthinking it. This is a really good time for you to almost disconnect. And that's likely why that 7 of Wands is there. Yeah, you've got the Knight of Cups and the 10 of Wands coming out just to sort of add clarity to that Queen, to say, I'm about to move into a very harmonious period because I'm being authentic. And things are going to balance out even in your resources, Virgo. So if there are any concerns about, restarting a business or going to school or creating anything from scratch, this tells me it's all going to balance out, even in the resources. So you got the relationships and the resources. So, what else is holding you back, right? That's a really interesting message. Things are all it's all going to balance out. You've just got to trust yourself and move forward on these things that feel like your true intentions. Oh, look at this. You got clean it up and chop wood coming out of the Oracle deck. So it's like you've got to clean up things that just don't align anymore. This clean it up card is really interesting. It's like you've done a big examination. You now just need to focus on the more mundane things, like the chop wood, carry water energy is one that's guiding us to just focus on the things that I need to focus on. I don't have to sit in that Nine of Swords energy we saw on the bottom for the Queen of Cups, where I'm trying to tackle it all at once. I can just take things one day at a time. What do I need to do today? What do I need to attend to today? Is this getting me closer to my sense of self? This really feels like a time of just focusing on yourself, because you've got, look at this, you've got the coming to the edge on the bottom and the Fool, right? These are energies that say I know a big change is coming and that I need to take a leap of faith, but I'm hesitating. So clean it up and chop wood come out to say, well, then let's take care of the basics first. Let's make sure we're taking care of the basics first before we try and tackle everything. And that Wheel of Fortune is saying, I'll take care of the how. And the Higher Power card coming out to sort of confirm that message, that the how is going to get worked out. You're not responsible for necessarily how it happens. You're just responsible for being it, embodying it, trusting yourself to have this new life. Wow. Everything is really coming through in alignment for you here, Virgo. It just feels like you've got to start seeing this as a blessing and not a curse. Sometimes I hear people say that when I'm doing readings in person, and they say, sometimes I think my uniqueness is a curse. And I just think that, again, it's like that Four of Pentacles. It's a mindset that puts us in lack instead of abundance, where we're even looking at ourselves in a way that says, I wish I was some other way, instead of just loving and honoring ourselves as a blessing, instead of comparing. I wonder if there's been some comparative energy around where you're comparing yourself to others. Yeah, the answers you need are coming. This is a time, it's full moon in Gemini. This is a time where it really feels like any doubt you have, any questions about the how, that is going to come. You just got to work on embodying it and sort of really immersing yourself in this new beginning. So interesting. The end of a tough cycle approaches. With the World card in the upcoming energy, the new life card coming out for you, that coming to the edge, and the Fool card, like you're moving towards a new beginning here, but it's going to cost you your old path. And I think that's the big hurdle here is, am I ready to let go of that? Let's see. Yeah, bringing balance to spirituality and practicality. So, this really might be a time for this full moon where it's important for you to start setting some intentions and getting ready to release relationships, doubts, a scarcity mindset. There's so many things that came up in this reading to release, and they could all be needing sort of your attention, so that once you release those things, you can sort of just focus on the day-to-day and what do I need to do in order to embody the vision I have for myself? And how can I surrender more instead of trying to control things? Very, very interesting message. I hope this has been helpful, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me for this reading, and we'll see you again very soon. Okay, take care.